Training Camp Live presented by American Airlines here on this Tuesday practice from Oxnard with Patrick No-C Walker. I'm Kyle Yeomans. This is going to be a fun one. This is competition drills with the offense and the defense. This is first, second, third, fourth down. They're moving down the field, and they're doing so against pressure, Patrick. And this is one of those drills that is going to absolutely test the wherewithal of the offensive line, the quarterbacks, and a little bit of everybody involved.
100%, Kyle. And what you want to keep in mind is the key word being pressure. And that pressure isn't always going to be easy to figure out for Dak Prescott in the offense because Mike Zimmer is the master of disguise, as we've seen so far in camp.
Do you think they've done a better job so far today? This is the later portions of practice, but picking up some of those different disguise looks that we've seen throughout camp.
I think absolutely from Dak Prescott, and he's a guy who's mostly seen it all, but Mike Zimmer is testing him, and he's showing it.
So there's Dak. That one got batted down at the line of scrimmage. Nicely done, and that's going to create fourth down. So really the offense didn't get going there initially, but they'll get a chance for the twos to make some noise.
But you know what, Kyle, there's still something positive to take away from that, albeit on the defensive side of the ball. Seeing those defensive linemen get their hands up, obviously from the school of J.J. Watt, clogging up those passing lanes, love to see it. Keep going with that.
So now we get to see Cooper Beebe and company. Awesome Richards is at left tackle. Beebe at the center spot with Cooper Rush still solidified as that quarterback 2 spot, at least here in the early going of camp. We'll play action. Rush has plenty of time in the pocket, but not a lot of time to get it past Eric Scott Jr. He has the PBU. He's had a better day today.
He has, and I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I spoke with Eric on yesterday, and I basically told him, I said, hey, you're starting to pick up the pace, and he said, I got to start stacking these good days, and he's making good on that today.
He has to stack those good days because he's had some extra competition. Rookie Kalen Carson has had a good camp. Of course, Israel Mukwamu out with an injury, so extra reps kind of between those second and third team corners. And he certainly took advantage of that one. Same personnel. Mogeson is in at the linebacker spot. Second team defensive line. Better push from the line, and they'll have a stop on the handoff to Malik Davis. Davis didn't really have a ton of room there.
Not at all, and a large part of that is because the linebacker core has been flying around, and it's been definitively upgraded as far as what they're showing in training camp this year or just over last year. So when you talk about Eric Kendricks and some of these other guys like undrafted guy Brock Mogeson, they're really making some plays in the run defense.
Little motion beforehand. Cooper trying to see what that post-snap look will look like. That's one thing we've seen more of from these quarterbacks is that hard count. Trying to figure out what the disguise looks like. And there was nobody open there. He tried to fit it into a tight window. And you had a couple guys there, both with the last name of Johnson.
And not that the Cowboys are lacking for guys who have that last name, or the first name of Jalen for that matter, or a first name that
Tyler
has the syllable tie in it. But
yeah.
On that play, you made an excellent point, Kyle. Again, it's Mike Zimmer. He's masking, he's disguising, he's making it very difficult for Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and, of course, Trey Lance. And on that play, Cooper Rush was trying to figure some things out, who's coming, who's dropping back in coverage, and couldn't.
Mike McCarthy talked about it today, how that's really what the league is now. From a defensive side of the football, you're going to see disguises. You're going to see different look. Good catch from Jalen Cropper on the edge there. But as that develops and as the league develops, how much does seeing these types of disguises in practice help out these quarterbacks along the way?
Oh, it's going to be monumental as far as when the regular season comes around, Kyle, because the more you can practice against what you will see in the regular season, the better you'll be when you see it in the regular season. And no one disguises their coverages and their blitzes like Mike Zimmer. So this is the best of the best they're going up against.
Here's the ones versus the ones again. That'll be their second try at it. First, second, third, fourth down. Dak has time. Throws it over the middle. That one's complete. Saw Hunter Lipke out of the backfield, but that completion is to Luke Schoonmaker. Good to see him back in the fold today.
Yes, definitely. And Luke Schoonmaker, he's not lacking for talent. He just needs to remain healthy. That's something that head coach Mike McCarthy pointed at as well. Obviously, he had the plantar fascia issue last training camp, hamstring issue, and now coming back from a groin issue.
Dak under center this time. Brock Hoffman at the center spot. TJ Bass is actually at right guard without
Don't go forgetting about him.
Zach Martin in the fold here in this rep. They give to Zeke. Zeke nowhere to go. That was just washed out immediately. I really like what the defensive line's done today, too. Mozzie Smith had a couple reps in individual drills where he was impressive. Of course, adding him into the fray with guys like Chauncey Golston, who's had a good day, Osei Digizua, who just continues to be a one-man wrecking crew. Those guys together seem to be building something up front.
There's definitely a chemistry being built there. Mozzie Smith putting on weight and checking all the boxes right now, especially in run defense as this camp rolls along.
Keep in mind, Willie Harvey at the second level, too, now with the linebacker spot. Talked about him today on Talking Cowboys a bit and how he could make a roster. This guy's looking to make a roster, too. Jalen Cropper turns on the Jets, turns upfield. He's touched by Marquise Bell, but not after a huge gain as Jalen Cropper, who has already caught not one, but 2 touchdowns in this practice period, has a huge gain that time.
And both of those touchdowns were from, what's his name? Oh, Dak Prescott, by the way. They're developing quite the chemistry, Jalen Cropper and Dak Prescott are. And Jalen Cropper's having another fantastic day.
And the early storylines were favoring Tyron Billy Johnson. Now it's Jalen Cropper, who seemingly is starting to ramp things up as camp goes along. Dak over the middle. There's the aforementioned Tyron Billy Johnson. That's going to be quite the battle because both will see preseason gameplay.
Yes.
Both will certainly have their opportunities.
They're going to get a ton of reps as early as this Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams. This wide receiver room is stacked with talent. A lot of these young guys are stepping up, taking advantage of their opportunities as CeeDee Lamb works through his contractuals with the team. And it's going to make for a very interesting decision when it comes time for roster cuts in late August.
All right, now we move into Team Red Zone. This is fun because there's some competition element to it. It's the first group, offense versus defense, to 18 points. If the offense scores, it's 7 points. If they kick a field goal, that's 3 points for the offense, but it's 4 points for the defense. And then if the offense is completely stopped, they don't get any points, then it is a defensive win worth 7 points. So now we've got an opportunity to see really what both sides have in some competition, and this is ramping up to really what we're going to see during the Rams practice coming up this upcoming Thursday.
Easily one of the most entertaining periods of practice to watch, and keep an eye on Micah Parsons in these drills as far as where's he lining up, and when he's off the ball, is he dropping back in coverage? Something to watch.
It's definitely something to watch. He's up on the line here, and he goes forward to try and make a stop on Rico Dowdle, and Maris Leofau made sure to finish the rep against Rico Dowdle.
You know, quiet as it's kept, there's quite the kennel of dog inside of Maris Leofau.
That's kind of what we've seen and we've heard as well. Eric Hendricks, I talked to him yesterday, and he was very complimentary of what Leofau brings to the table.
And he's playing so fast now. He's really picking up Zimmer's scheme quickly.
Micah moving Mozzie over in the interior. Now he's straight up over Brock Hoffman. He's going to rush right up the middle. Dak has to get rid of it. He does just that. Likes the look to Brandon Cooks, but good coverage from Nashawn Wright. It looks like Cooks never really picked that football up.
Yeah, one of those times where Cooks did not get separation against the lengthy Nashawn Wright, but had he picked the ball up in the air, it might have been a touchdown.
So now the field goal unit is on. No rush here because, of course, it was off of an incomplete pass. Chance for 3 points for the offense, but 4 points for the defense is locked in as soon as they kick this football. Could be 7 points if it's a miss from Brandon Aubrey. Good snap, good hold, got plenty of distance, and it is right down the middle. Brandon Aubrey has the offense and the defense on the board. It's currently 4-3 defense.
Kyle, what is that I smell? Is that butter? That is butter that I smell.
Fresh butter in the air.
Fresh butter in the air. Brandon Aubrey coming off of the first-team All-Pro record-setting rookie season, looking to build on that. Don't know how you build on that other than to just be consistent, but he's going to be very interesting to watch outside of that just from a place-kicking standpoint with the new rules.
Second team up after the 3 on the board. Offense would love to get a touchdown here to try and continue building on their points. Defense, you could probably argue the defense has more depth at this point in camp, but there's a good take from Malik Davis, opposite side. A little outside handoff, and he took it for a good game.
And for Malik Davis and even the guys like Snoop Connor, they're going to need to definitely take advantage of these reps. Royce Freeman, this is his second practice missed with an injury. Deuce Vaughn, he's missed several practices now with the hamstring. Just more reps for Malik Davis. Snoop Connor, how can they start to take advantage of that? Maybe make some waves on this depth chart.
Cooper rush. Out of the shotgun. Another thing to keep an eye on, Cooper Beebe snaps. He's been better today. Good snap there.
Good one.
Rush Likes a look. He's got David Durden open and into the end zone. That'll be a touchdown for the offense and 7 points on the board.
And that's an absolute dot from Cooper Rush, and he's had a very steady training camp. He's made things extremely difficult for Trey Lance in that competition for backup. But also, you saw it, Keemon Hall there. Outside of that, Keemon Hall has had a great day today as well. 2 interceptions today, 1 on Trey Lance. So the cornerback claimed off of the 49ers waiver wire earlier in training camp, starting to make a little bit of waves, and that just goes to the cornerback depth on this team right now.
Great route from David Durden.
Absolutely.
Was able to make the right move and then catch the pylon. So the one's back up. It is currently 10-4 in favor of the offense. First 1 to 18 is where we're going. So the offense can get within a point here if they can put a touchdown on the board again. Dak. Little reverse. Little play action to Ezekiel Elliott, and then he ends up giving it to Jalen Brooks. Brooks didn't get very far. It looked like the defense read it well.
And who was back there? Marist Leofau. We just finished talking about the Notre Dame product, and he's playing like his hair is on fire, and he's looking for some water. He's really picking this up quickly, getting more comfortable under the wings of Eric Kendricks and Damone Clark, and he's reacting.
Got a nickel set now. You've got Parsons and Kendricks in the middle. That's the give to Zeke. Zeke with a hole.
Yeah.
That would have been a decent gain. Of course, you can't tackle the running backs. It's tough to really see how far they could have gone. But he hit the hole perfectly, and it would have been close to a first down.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that there were 2 reasons the Cowboys' rushing attack struggled last year. And one of those reasons was the offensive line and the carousel of injuries. So to see this offensive line opening lanes like that in training camp is promising.
So that was 3rd down and short. They decided to just rush it right down the middle to get the first down, move the chains. They did just that, and it's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. They pick up the initial first down. This drill, by the way, starting at the 25. So it's not true red zone work, but it's just outside the red zone that this team is working for.
Nashawn Wright on Jalen Tolbert.
I like that. Deron Bland on Jalen Brooks, opposite side. Jordan Lewis is on Jalen Cropper, who we mentioned earlier. Prescott, hand to Zeke. Zeke with another good cut. I like what they've seen so far from Ezekiel Elliott.
Now, that was definitely a great cutback from Ezekiel Elliott. He recognized quickly that the lanes were not going to develop on his left side, plants his foot in the ground, does not waste any time, changes direction, finds a new lane, right side, for a gain and potentially a first down. Good burst on that one from Zeke.
It looks like there may have been a penalty marker down, and they back up the offense. They called holding. So 1st and 20 now.
So delete that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Good cut from Zeke. That doesn't change that.
Nonetheless.
Keep that one on film. You just go back and learn from it. 1st and 20 for Dak. Throws far side, complete to Brooks, who put a foot in the ground, and Nashawn Wright slipped out of it.
Jalen Brooks. We talk about Jalen Tolbert. We talk about Jalen Cropper, and Cropper is having a fantastic day, literally as we speak. But so is Jalen Brooks, and his catch radius, his ability to move with his footwork, as you just saw, it can be dangerous.
Communication out of the secondary, and the throw just high over Schoonmaker. If that's put on the money, I think there was pressure there from Dak, but if it's on the money, that's a touchdown.
Yes, it is. And one thing that's really jumping out to me is just how much chemistry Dak Prescott has with these receivers from the top of the depth chart all the way down to the bottom end of the depth chart. But that goes a lot to the work that they put in the offseason. Talk about the trip to Oregon with him and the receivers and just building that bond and that chemistry. It's really showing here in training camp.
3rd down and what looks to be 2 for the offense. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. There is a tight end in the formation. And Zeke Elliott. This one's thrown back in zone, looking for Turpin, and it's broken up by Jordan Lewis. Got the right hand on the football and batted it away.
A couple things I saw there. First and foremost, great push up the middle of that pocket by Mozzie Smith to make things a little bit uncomfortable for Dak Prescott on that throw, which was already a difficult one. And then Jordan Lewis just doing what Jordan Lewis does.
4th and 1. Offense elects to go for it. Remember, points aplenty. Chance for 7 points, and Dak got Micah Parsons to jump.
The Lions always hungry, and sometimes you can get them to bite a little early.
You think Dak understood the possibility there? You think Dak knew that would have had a chance to be successful?
I do think Dak recognized that disguise, was not buying it that time, and chose to draw the Lion off sides, and it worked.
You know, now that we're looking at it, they backed the offense up. I wonder if they called that a false start.
False start.
Apologies to Micah if that's indeed what they did. It might just be a situational thing, too. We'll have to go back and look at the tape. I didn't see anybody jump offensively, but we're also not at a very good angle for that. You know who is at a good angle, though? That's Brandon Aubrey.
Yes, Brandon Aubrey.
He's still got it.
Butter, if you're nasty.
13-8 now in favor of the offense. You'd have to think the offense, second-team offense with Cooper Rush and company, it'll probably be Trey Lance out there this time. But they have some extra confidence the way they were driving down the field last time.
They do, but it needs to continue, especially for a guy like Trey Lance. He really needs to get on the right track in this training camp. He's made some good throws, and he's had a couple of exceptional throws, but Mike Zimmer has really thrown the kitchen sink at this young man, and he's testing him.
Final day of install, by the way, so the playbook starting to open up for the Cowboys, both on offense and defense. Trey Lance with time to throw. Lofts it up to Malik Davis. Good eye there from Lance to look across his body and find its tailback.
Better still, great patience from Lance. What I found earlier in camp is that it felt as if he was rushing through his progressions, a little bit panicked, so to speak, bailing out a little bit early from the pocket. On that particular play, he read the field, scanned right to left, found Malik Davis, comfortably made that throw, didn't try to do too much with it, just dropped it right in the bucket for the first down.
Don't try to do too much. That's something I'm sure Trey Lance has heard plenty of over the last few weeks. Getting to that point in training camp. Pressure. That was from Viliami Fehoko. He does dump it off to Davis again, opposite side. Malik Davis getting in the action out of the backfield.
Listen, we just talked about Malik Davis and Snoop Conner, those guys needing to take advantage of the added opportunity of Royce Freeman not being on the field. And Malik Davis is certainly doing so on this drive. Found himself a new best friend in Trey Lance, maybe.
8 yards away from the offense ending the drill. And winning this one 20-8 would be the final if they can punch it in. Second team offense has had some success here in this practice session. The first team offense with a couple field goals. And off to Davis. It's been the Malik Davis drive as he plunges forward for about 5.
Listen, did Trey Lance and Malik Davis just become best friends? I think we're seeing it in real time.
Second down and goal from inside the 5. They'll mark it at the 4. Where do you go with the football here? You go back to Malik Davis?
You know, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But now would also be a perfect opportunity for a play action using Malik Davis and then maybe a quick dump out to the flats.
Also have a
test some of that one-on-one
with,
coverage on the outside.
Yeah, John Stevens Jr. inside at the tight end spot. This is a good red zone possibility. Might see a rep here to just see what Trey Lance sees in the red zone. Let him throw it. That's exactly what they're going to do. He sees Davis. No, that's Snoop Conner right on the goal line, and he sneaks inside. The offense is going to win the drill 20-8.
You know, Kyle, I'm starting to wonder, based on that drive with Trey Lance, if Malik Davis and Snoop Conner are doing double duty, playing and listening to us talk about them on Training Camp Live.
I really like it. Finishing things up here on Training Camp Live with Patrick Nosey Walker. I'm Kyle Youmans. We got to see a lot of team drills today, and that's really been the point for Mike McCarthy. It's the final install practice, final opportunity to really push these guys to another level. What did you see from today's practice?
I saw the guys picking up the intensity and right on time, because on Thursday in comes the Los Angeles Rams for that joint practice, and that's going to be a good test for the ones who won't see much, if any, playing time on Sunday in the preseason game.
Just a walkthrough on Wednesday, then Thursday it's on. It's an afternoon practice, too. It'll be a little bit warmer out here. You have an opportunity to see the Cowboys versus another jersey, the Los Angeles Rams. Just a reminder, first preseason game coming up on Sunday, CBS 11, and the Dallas Cowboys Cowboys Television Network. That one getting started at 2 p.m. Central Time on countdown to kickoff, and then 3 p.m. Central Time for kickoff itself between the Cowboys and the Rams from SoFi Stadium. Keep up to date with Patrick No C Walker on DallasCowboys.com. He's got you covered in every element in the article game and on Talking Cowboys as well. For Patrick, I'm Kyle Yeomans. For Alex Lilly behind the camera, we'll see you next time on Training Camp Live.